The micro is all yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, SD-WAN Hybrid Networks and Integrated Security. With me today, I have Mr. Amr Masoud, who's a senior systems engineer working with Versa Networks.
Good morning.
And this is me, right, Vignesh, and I'm a network solutions manager with Calculus. For today's agenda, we will start off with a quick introduction about Calculus. Followed by that, we will talk about current environment and challenges, and about the Versa SASE solution, differentiators of Versa, and finally, we'll wrap up things with a Q&A. Who's Calculus? Calculus is founded in the year 2016, and we do have 7+ years of successful experience in the market with presence all over the globe. USA is our headquarters, and we do also have branches in India, Dubai, and Saudi. Mexico is where we have our bigger base, right? We provide global solutions for most of telco, ISPs, and enterprise customers as well. Also, we are certified partners with more than 12 technology leading OEMs. Say in case of SD-WAN, we are global partners with Versa, and especially in LATAM, we are their exclusive partners. Also, we have been recently awarded as one of top 10 global expert companies in SD-WAN services. And the model we adapt is a CS360 model, where we start with consultation services, say like we do assessment of a business requirement of a customer and selecting the best fit solution for them. Next, designing services such as proof of concepts or designing the solution itself, right? And in specific to this discussion, SD-WAN services. We'll also follow up with implementation services, where we implement the design for our customers. Whatever we have designed, we implement throughout their network. And it can be starting from SD-WAN head end itself, the DC, DR, or branches. Also, we take over the complete operations of a network. So we act as a managed service provider as well. Finally, we do provide TAC and resident engineer services too. Now, for this first section, I'd like to invite Mr. Amr to walk us through.
Thanks, Vignesh. I'll switch to my slides. So what is today's challenge about networking and security that we are trying to solve with our SASE solution? So traditionally, the networking and the security used to be so defined that the applications are confined within the data centers usually, and the users working usually from the headquarters or from the branches, accessing the applications at the data center. In that traditional way, the perimeter security was an effective solution to be set in line to intercept all traffic between the users and the applications, to do all security measures that might be needed to do the needed security. However, with today's adoption of multi-cloud concept, edge computing, and especially after COVID pandemic, the model of working have been completely changed. The working from home model or working from anywhere or freelancer concept model of working have made the user to exist in different places, in multiple places. So the perimeter security is no longer an efficient solution to protect the users working from anywhere, accessing the applications that are distributed everywhere. That distribution of users and workloads have expose the data to more vulnerabilities, because data is now from the user side and from the data side, the data is more exposed to the public internet access. So the surface of compromisation and the surface of impact have been dramatically increased. So we need to find a solution that can provide that unified security. We don't need to end up having multiple security solutions that protect the data and the users in different places, but they are not unified. We need a unified connectivity and security solution that can protect the communication between the users working from anywhere to the data and applications being accessed at different places. And here where SASE came from. As defined by Gartner, SASE is a framework that introduces both networking and security to provide full optimized connectivity and security between the users working from anywhere to the applications, wherever those applications exist. So if the user is working from the office, working from the branch, or working from home or from anywhere, they need to be connected optimally and to be fully protected to the applications, whether those applications exist on the private data center or at the infrastructure cloud provider like Google or Azure or Amazon, or even if that data is provided as software as a service like Office 365, or even if that applications exist on public internet for business use or for even personal use, that also need to be protected. This is simply what is SASE, and in the coming slides, we will explain how Versa provides that as a unified solution for connectivity and security. So back to you, Vignesh, to go through Versa use cases for SASE and secure SD-WAN. So back to you.
Thank you, Amr. The Versa SASE solution, right? With the Versa SASE, we will be able to provide integrated security to the users, applications, devices, and locations. The main component or functionalities of the SASE solution are ZTNA, Secure Web Gateway, NGFW, Unified Threat Management, CASB, and along with these, we also get Secure SD-WAN. All these features are provided by a single Versa operating system called VOS, which is the key operating system in the whole solution. The Versa Secure SD-WAN, the first piece of the SASE solution, right? With this, we will be able to securely connect multiple branches back to their applications, either in private data centers, IaaS or SaaS providers. IaaS, it can be any vendor, AWS, Azure, or GCP for the sake, and meantime enhancing application experience for the end users as well. In this case, the users residing in remote branches, home offices will be able to backhaul to their private data centers or to IaaS providers such as AWS, Azure, or GCP between the branch itself. And also from branches, we can securely break them out in local site itself to the SaaS or browsing internet applications, right? So we can avoid taking them all the way up to the hub and then break out. The key thing to note here is that whether in branches, IaaS, or private DC, as you see in the side depicted, everywhere we run a unified operating system, which is Versa OS. VOS, we call that as VOS. Now, with the Versa operating system, VOS, right, we will be able to get all routing functionalities, SD-WAN features such as advanced features such as forward error correction and application traffic engineering, etc. A lot of almost all SD-WAN features, and also every advanced next-gen firewall features and UTM features. Next-gen firewall in the sense UTM, URL filtering, UTM in sense of IPS, IDS, right? Anti-malware protection, everything. Finally, on top of this, the operating system is multi-tenant in nature, meaning we'll be able to segregate the solution logically into multiple separate tenant in every layer. Say from the head-end orchestration layer, we can create tenancy, and as well as in the edge layer, right? That is some unique feature you will not get in any other SD-WAN platform. Now, Versa can offer solutions for both user level and as well as for branch level. First one of those is VSPA. The Versa term is VSPA, Versa Secure Private Access. This enables remote workers, right, working from anywhere, a home, coffee shop, right, even anywhere, right, to securely connect to the private cloud or their data centers, right, for internal applications. In our case, the remote users with Versa SSE client installed can securely connect to the nearest Versa SSE gateway. Now, the decision about connecting to the nearest Versa SSE gateway is taken based on latency and also based on the performance of the gateway itself. So it will keep monitoring whether the gateway has a high CPU. So the gateway will be ignored and we'll try to connect to the next available gateway. Right, and from there, the traffic will be encrypted from the user machine, from the Versa client installed all the way to the gateway, and then from there the traffic will backhaul all the way to the customer premises. So there will be already a secure channel built from the gateway back to the customer premises as well. The main features of VSPA are authentication of users based on various methods, such as you can authenticate based on LDAP, SAML, or even local DB. That's available as well. And segmentation of users, that's one main thing, right? So we can segment them based on roles, business units, and then provide access based on the segments, right? Based on the different groups will have different types of access. So in this case, the control is enforced in the Versa SSE gateway, so that, say, for example, when a user tries to connect to an internal application, since the security is enforced in the gateway, the traffic gets filtered in the gateway itself. So even before reaching the customer DC, the traffic will be filtered. By this, necessarily, we avoid choking in the data center internet, right, in the customer location. And one of the key things here is the posture check. We will be able to validate a user for, say, what antivirus they have installed. Do they have the latest firmware, patches, etc., right? Before even allowing them to connect to the Versa gateway. Even before that, they will be denied if they are non-compliant. And what are the problems does VSPA solve, right? It supports users who are trying to connect remotely to ensure that they are connecting with security, right? Utmost security, and also with segmentation and authorization. Next, VSIA, Versa Secure Internet Access. This enables remote workers to securely connect to the SaaS and other internet application, meaning they will be restricted to access only what their corporate policies allows, even when working from home. So they are still aligned with the corporate policies. In our case, remote users with Versa SASE client installed first securely connect to the nearest Versa SSE gateway, and then from there they locally break out. Also from the end applications perspective, right? Say if he's accessing a SaaS or any internet-bound browsing traffic, from the end application perspective, all the traffic are proxied by the Versa gateway. So they will see the traffic are coming from the Versa gateway. So the user is not directly exposed to the internet, right? Which supports obviously in reducing the attack surface. And definitely we will be able to segment users as we discussed for VSPA, and can apply all NGFW and UTM features when before the user breaks out to the internet from the Versa SSE gateway. Say, for instance, we can restrict the browsing traffic based on URL repetition, category, and also authenticate users based on LDAP and SAML, as we discussed earlier. And also we can enable controls based on applications, right, rather than based on IPs, obviously based on applications. And also we can enable UTM features such as IPS, etc. Right? And what does this solve? This time when a remote worker wants to reach internet resources, they will be protected, and also they will be in line with the corporate policy. Now, an organization can subscribe to both VSPA and VSIA so that a remote user can securely connect back to their private data center for internal resources, meanwhile reaching out to the internet in a controlled manner, right? And the key thing to notice here is that let it be, as we discussed already, right? Let it be anywhere, right? Everywhere it is a common operating system, which is VOS. With those notes, I'll leave the floor back to Mr. Amr to take us through the next few sections.
Thanks, Vignesh. Let me share from my side. So there are many vendors in the market who now introduces SASE. So, however, there are few vendors, and Versa is one of them, who provide this as one unified solution. So same vendor can provide the SASE with different solutions. However, Versa is distinguished by offering the SASE as one unified solution. So those use cases that Vignesh have explained are all introduced under the same Versa operating system in the branch by the same cloud gateway that are distributed all over the globe, and the same Versa SASE agent that get deployed at end user devices. And there is single pane of management and orchestration to all of these components, which is called Versa Headend. That Versa Headend manage all of these different components consistently with single pane of glass for management, for monitoring, analytics, and reporting, and providing single data lake for all analytics, for all networking and security. So with that unified architecture, Versa provides the secure SD-WAN between the branches, as well as the direct internet access, and the secure private access, Versa secure private access, and Versa secure internet access. So all of these capabilities that we have mentioned earlier that SASE promises to provide connectivity, optimum connectivity and security for the users working from anywhere to the applications exist at any place, multi-cloud, private cloud, internet, SaaS, with Versa unified SASE solution that get provided as one unified solution for all networking and security. So what are the Versa differentiators other than the unification from SASE perspective? So Versa provides both networking and security as one unified solution. Our SASE gateways are distributed all over the globe with more than 90 POPs that allows the user to automatically connect to the best performing and the nearest cloud gateway to serve that user. So the user chooses the cloud gateway dynamically, and as well, he can or she can fail over to a secondary gateway if any problem happens to the primary gateway. So that dynamic connectivity to the cloud gateways in optimum way, considering the location of the user and the location of the application, is a unique capability with Versa. Those POPs of cloud gateways that provides the secure service edge are all connected as one fabric. So that fabric itself is connected as SD-WAN fabric. So within that fabric, there is optimum connectivity provided, eliminating the internet middle mile issues. So the communication between the cloud gateways is achieved with traffic optimization with all SD-WAN capabilities that Versa provides. This is also a differentiating capability for Versa SASE solution. Those SASE gateways are connected with multiple diversity of connectivity over the internet to provide reliable connectivity. The single pane of glass to manage the secure service edge, the remote workers, agents, the security posture that Vignesh have explained. And as well, the SD-WAN and secure SD-WAN, the direct internet breakout, all of these capabilities are provided from a single pane of management, which is Versa hidden. Those cloud gateways, as we said, are all connected under one SD-WAN fabric. We call it Versa SASE fabric to provide that optimum traffic flow over the internet. And any of those cloud gateways all of those cloud gateways are fully capable with all security needed for private access and internet access. So for private access, the zero trust network access is provided, intrusion prevention, for example, and for internet, all other security that might be needed, like data leak prevention, secure web gateway, remote browser isolation, cloud access security broker. All of these are provided by any of the cloud gateways that the user might connect to. As Versa grows to provide a truly unified SASE solution, Versa extends the SASE concept into area beyond just the WAN and the remote workers by extending the SASE and the zero trust network access concept to the LAN network. With the new Versa CSX switches, these switches provides both the hardware switching for layer 2 and layer 3, as well they are powered with the Versa operating system, the one that is powering our Versa CPEs for the SD-WAN. So with that, those switches are fully capable in terms of security with all features and capabilities provided by the Versa operating system. So this is a kind of layer 7 switch, you can consider it. With that, along with the traditional switching, Versa can provide within the LAN network the micro-segmentation between the users based on the user identity with the zero trust network access. And this introduces a new concept that we introduced to the market, which is called zero trust everywhere. Not just at the one edge, not just at the remote workers with the SASE agent, but as well for the users who connects to the campus network from the headquarters or from any of the branches. With those switches, the zero trust network access will be applied at the port level. As well, security can be applied on those switches. To layer 7 firewall rules can be applied to those switches. So with that, Versa extends the zero trust network access and the SASE to the LAN network to provide full software-defined branch. As well, those switches will be managed and orchestrated by the same Versa hidden. So that Versa hidden manages the CPE with all security and networking, manages the cloud gateways with all security requirements for secure private access and internet access, manages the SSE agent, Versa SASE agent that is deployed on the end user devices, as well manages those switches from layer 2 and layer 7 perspective with all features and capabilities. That really extends the SASE beyond just the WAN and extended it to the LAN as well, with a consistent policy that get applied to the user wherever the user is working from. So the same rules and the same policies will be applied to the user if he's working from home. Next day, with this, when the user go and work from the office, the same rules and policies will be applied to the user, even if his agent is not working in the office. So the same enforcement will happen at the switch level. That also allows the security for the east-west communication within the LAN network, between the users and the servers within the LAN network. As industry awards and market recognition for Versa have many market certificates or proofs that position Versa as a very competitive solution in SASE, in networking and security. For example, according to Gartner Magic Quadrant, Versa have been listed in the top leader quadrant for the last, at least for the last 3 consecutive years, as leader in the secure SD-WAN. According to Gartner Critical Capabilities Report, Versa is the top from networking, from SD-WAN and security among all other vendors in delivering the secure SD-WAN use cases as defined in Gartner's Critical Capabilities Report. From security side, Versa also scores AAA rating according to Cyber Rating, at least for the last 3 consecutive years. With this, we have reached to end of our presentation. I hope that was useful, and it's time now for the questions from the audience side.
Great. Guys, feel free to leave questions if you have any. Amr, we do already have some questions here. Let me just read that out for you. Okay, so there is a question, Amr. Remote users working from home, do they need to use a Versa box at home, or there should be an agent software installed on their laptop? In case of an agent software, how is the application? Okay, let's take it one at a time. So remote users working from home, do they need to install a Versa box or an application on their laptops?
Okay, that will be with the Versa SASE agent software that will be running on the end user device, whether the device is on a PC, Mac OS, or Windows, or tablet, or mobile. There is an agent that will be deployed at the end user device. That agent can be managed by your mobile device management solution. So that agent can be deployed automatically, and the user can get authenticated with that agent with single sign-on, with the identity solution that is being used by the organization. That is the first part of the question.
Okay, the follow-up will be, in case of an agent software, how application sharing, packet duplication, or FEC is done for these types of clients?
Good question. Actually, and this is any capability with Versa. Versa have something with the agent is called SD-WAN Lite. With SD-WAN Lite, the Versa agent can utilize multiple connectivity with the end user device to share the traffic. So that capabilities of SD-WAN will be provided not with the box, but it will be provided with the agent running on the end user device.
Okay. And there's a question which states the operating system which we have discussed in the ZTLAN, is it same? As I understand, it's the same VOS with some enhanced features, capabilities, and the switches which will be deployed will be hardware accelerated as well, right? Obviously, campus LAN switches need to be hardware accelerated, and it is hardware accelerated.
Exactly, yeah. So those switches provides the hardware switching, as well as if further processing is needed, microsegmentation can be provided at the hardware level with microsegmentation using VXLAN group tagging. However, for further processing, then that will go to the software processing with Versa operating system.
And there is two more questions. So about the Versa gateways, where are these gateways hosted, which we have discussed in this webinar?
So Versa gateways are distributed all over the globe in different countries, different places, different cities. So even in Middle East, we have cloud gateways that exist in the Middle East as well, and we are expanding our cloud gateways to provide more reliability and better connectivity for different countries in the region.
And there's one final question, which is the backbone of the Versa gateways, right? What is the backbone? As I understand, it is internet with SD-WAN driven backbone with the internet cloud. Can you add on top of that, Amr?
Yeah, you described it well, Vignesh. It is that way. So we leverage multiple internet connectivities, and over that, utilize the SD-WAN to do the optimum steering across that fabric.
Okay, great. I think, let me check again how it is. Okay, there is one more question. How it is different than a normal remote access VPN?
Great question. Okay. With the traditional remote access VPN, the user once get authenticated to the VPN concentrator, the user will get an IP address and he will be part of the network. So the user once get connected, he will be as if he's working from the office. He has access to everything as any normal user. However, with Versa Secure Private Access, with the Zero Trust Network Access, the user is get admitted to the network first, as Vignesh have explained, with the security posturing. So we do security posturing for the user, like the NAC concept, but instead of doing the NAC at the LAN, we do also the network admission for the remote user. So we check the antivirus status, the operating system status, and so many things. We have very big checklist that we can go through. So this is the first thing. Second thing, the user get access with the least privilege based on the user identity, based on the user group, and based on so many other conditions as well, the end user status, and based on the geographical location where the user is coming from. We configure granular policies, what this user, based on these conditions that have been detected, what privilege this user can get access and to which applications and with which privilege. This is how the Versa Secure Private Access with Zero Trust Network Access is much far sophisticated than the traditional VPN.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, there is one final question. There is, it is about NGFW policies in the end user and the traffic steering policies. So in terms of traffic steering, yes, as Amr was explaining, we do have SD-WAN Lite functionalities in the VPN application, which we install on the laptop or the user machine. So we have options, say, for example, we can create policies so that the specific application, right, not based on, no more based on routing, right? We can specifically say that YouTube locally breakout from the user laptop. Don't take it all the way to the gateway. So we have that capability. It's not only limited to YouTube. I just give an example. And then in terms of NGFW, yes, obviously we will be able to apply that in the gateway level as well.
Is much more than the next generation firewall, is also that includes the unified threat management and CASB as well, data leak prevention, remote browser isolation.
And this exact question, Amar, is can we apply NGFW policies on end users whose internet is breaking out locally from his local internet connection? As I was explaining, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
If you want to go answer it.
Yeah, so as I was explaining, right, we do, when we write policy, we can specifically mention what application only break out locally. It's not that we, as in a traditional remote access VPN, we just add a default route pointing locally and only add specific routes pointing to our concentrated. That's what we do in our regular VPN, right? But with this client installed in your laptop, you will be able to write policies from our head end, right, from the Concerto, which is Versa Concerto, and then push the policy so that, say, for instance, as I was explaining, only specific applications, based on application, you can break out locally, rest all you can take to the Versa gateway. So, I think that's all we have. The questions. I don't see any new questions. Okay, there is someone asking what is the cost of SASE. So please leave your details here, so we'll be able to reach to you. So if you can leave your details about these things, we'll be able to do that. Thank you, guys. Then over to you, Lupita. Thank you, Amr, for the great session.
Thanks, Vignesh. Thanks, Lupita, for arranging this webinar.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again. Thanks to everyone who joined us today in this webinar session. We're going to be having many more coming, so please stay tuned. Also, for the people who were asking if we're going to be handling the slides or the presentation to the attendees, we are actually going to upload this video to YouTube, to our YouTube channel. So please stay tuned too, and keep an eye on it. We're going to be having the content over there, so you can guys just level up your skills or just acquire more knowledge, okay? And you're free to share. Thank you so much, Amr, for joining us from Versa Networks. And also thank you, Vignesh, for joining us. You were a tremendous host today. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys very soon.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Take care.